course we do.
Of
We always
course,
do.
here we go. See, you did it.
I did.
Okay.
I always
all right.
said I wasn't supposed to do it. Then I didn't do it.
Okay. That one was not working for me. Alrighty. Hello, everybody.
Hey guys.
Guess what? It's us.
It is us.
Your weekly dose from Tom Sewing. Deborah here.
And I'm Lori.
Just in case you're new. Other than that, y'all know. So we have a lovely day out there.
We do.
The
we
spring.
do.
I love spring.
Today?
It's just
Well,
one of those feelings.
we're filming early, so today's not too bad. But Wednesday, which is tomorrow or the day this goes live, it's supposed to be up to 30. It like spikes to 30 and then it goes back down.
Okay, I'm not happy about that, but like this right now is what I just so enjoy. It's cool enough you could sit, that you could, put a jacket on or light sweater, but warm enough you could sit outside and read a book, have your tea, whatever, and just enjoy beautiful lower mainland weather, and we all know how I love it. Okay, so yeah, anyway, so here we go. We got a couple of different things to discuss today. Biggie, the trade-in machines.
Yes, we have a lot of those. So last week, you guys noticed we were working on, when we did the Star Strips, the M7. That is a trade-in.
Yes.
That is a lovely machine. I have an M7. And it is a wonderful machine to work with. I love the big throat on it.
Mm-hmm.
Little buttons, like push the foot up or down or...
There's a lot of advances on that machine.
There is.
The biggest, I still remember the very first time I saw it on the Facebook picture. I was in Ottawa visiting Heidi, and we're all sitting on the bed. I was using grandkids and Heidi, and I went, oh my goodness. They didn't know why I was so excited, or actually they thought it was something wrong. The throat.
Yeah.
The size of the throat
Yeah,
on the
it's-
M7
It
is
is
just
nice for dealing if you're doing some free motion quilting. Just lots of room for your crap if you're just even if you're piecing. Because on mine I have my little box that I have my those clips in.
Yes.
It's like so.
it sits inside the throat area.
Oh yeah, and
Me too.
And I still have lots of room for
Yeah,
for
exactly.
there, and then. Yeah, and then my scissors, like everything is in that little throat,
Yeah,
because
same
it's
here.
it's
Yeah.
so huge. And then the downside of it is because where it sits in my sewing room is like my sewing room is at the top of the stairs by the hallway going to the kitchen and everything else like that. And so when we need the table cleared off or things there cleared off, and instead of asking where things go, because they apparently don't know, they just go and put it in my room, in my sewing room, and because the M7 is right there, oh yeah, there's a lot of throat space because they can get a lot of crap on my sewing machine and a table.
Yeah, that would not
Instead of
last
putting it where it
long.
belongs. And I'm like, does this belong here? Well, we didn't know where it goes. First of all, if you don't, you could ask, but some of this isn't rocket science. Like
I
empty
know.
pop bottles, where would they go? Oh, the pop bottle collector thingy right there.
Yeah, not on the sewing machine.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. But we do have quite a few, and the price range goes from $300 up to about $13,000. They are not all here in the Surrey store, or all at the Country Folk or Burnaby.
So they are spread out amongst the stores.
and
So
we will, if you wanted to make an appointment to see one of them in whichever store you choose, just let us know, and we will have the machine brought into that store, and you can come and have a look at it. And they range, like we've got an Epic 2, a Baby Lock Altair, a Solaris, Ovation, the M7 over there, a 6600, great machine, 8900, an Epic 1, a Designer Diamond, a Janome C30, a baby lock accomplished, quilter's choice, and some of them even have roller totes. Like whatever the person traded in with that machine, it is going with the machine as it leaves us.
Yeah.
So whatever they've provided, you'll be able to have. So
Yes. So
come in, have a look at them. If you're looking for any of the types of, and all went out in the email. They're all listed there, pictures and telling you what those machines provide, what they have, and hate to see the M7 go, but because I was gonna do some more practicing, but whatever. Hey, somebody will
start
be
practicing between.
Yes,
And you can come
yes.
to my
I
house
can
and
go to your house and practice on that.
Yes.
So that is a big deal. There are quite a few. I think the email said 13 trade-in machines that are available. I could be wrong on that, but again, the price range is from $300 up to about $13,000. So there's everything within that realm. Upcoming classes. Learn to use your sewing machine. I think there's one spot available on the 29th here in Surrey.
Email doesn't say how many.
Oh, sorry. Okay, then that was just made up in my head somewhere. The covered corded rug class on the 31st. Ooh, looks like fun. Computer skills. Now, this is a class that we get questions about all the time on how to do this, to get your designs into your laptop, get it onto your
how
USB,
to download them, because a lot of people have
to your
trouble
machine.
downloading them and then opening them up.
And a short little discussion in the store is not enough to sort it out for you. I took this class with Lori because I'm amazing twice before I finally got the handle on it, that I'm no longer going back and forth from laptop to the machine. Oh, it didn't go. What did I do? And go back and start all over again. The class is very straightforward. It is PC based. If you have an iPad, a little bit more.
Well,
an Apple.
An Apple,
Sorry,
yeah. Can't do it on an
No, you
iPad.
can't, no.
But if you're Apple based, no one's given me a MacBook to play around with.
That's odd, right?
I know. Like I would, but so it is PC based. Just because that's what I'm familiar with or whatever. Macs. There's just a little bit of a quirk somewhere, and I'm not familiar enough to switch that around. But we talk about really simplifying it. And I think that's where a lot of times people realize, they want to make it more complicated than what it is. Because
that was me. Yeah.
It is. It's with a lot of the ones that the students that take the class, it should be more complicated.
Yeah.
It should be difficult or whatever,
yeah.
but it's not. It's so we really break it down and try and make it simple. And so once you let go that it's complicated, then it clicks.
Yes. Yeah. So get in there. It is.
It is 2 parts.
Yep. The 10th and
So
the
I don't
17th
overstress
of
you.
June. Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly. So yes, you do, and you do a little bit of homework. You go home and check it out because
practice.
we've all got all those designs all over. I still have to get around to totally organizing it on my laptop, but with the new ones that I purchased, I'm having absolutely 100%. So just getting it switched over onto a USB and into the machine, and off I go. The forage bag I having trouble dealing with the fact that we're talking about June already.
I know. Like
I'm looking at the date going, is that right? Did I write that down properly?
I know,
but
it's the year is almost like, I don't know where the dates go. Like it's all of a sudden it's the first of the month, and I'm going, okay, because there's a couple of things, birthday presents that I do for certain kids, and so it's like it was May 1st. I'm like, okay, their birthdays aren't until the 24th, so I have until the 24th to get this stuff done. And then all of a sudden it's the 24th, and it's like, where'd the month go? And it's going to be late. And I had all this stuff like 3-4 weeks early. So, yeah.
Yeah, I know. This June thing is just really throwing me
It's
off.
the whole month.
I know.
Year.
Country folk classes. Now, the free motion by Tom is on the 3rd, and the Surger Club starts on the 4th. Now, you don't have to sign up for everyone, so you can just pick and choose the ones that you like, and the pattern and the project that you make is really cool.
It
is. And then...
Well, hang on.
What? I know,
My
I'm just
basic-
going here.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I thought you were
No.
jumping over my
It's
thing.
okay. Chill.
Fine.
And a big one is the embroidery basics.
Yes.
Now, this is like they fill up really, really quickly. And that's because there's
so amazing.
so much there's so much information in there that
We've got-
everybody's enjoying it. We have a new one scheduled now because in September, and then there'll be another one again in November.
So if you are new to embroidery, planning on getting a machine, want some refreshers, we cover a lot of theory and basics, and then we do a project. So each class is kind of some theory stuff and some basics, or theory and then a project, theory and then a project.
Mm-hmm.
The first one is really important because we cover things, threads, we cover stabilizing, how to stabilize, what stabilizers to use, all those kind of things, and we make project, and then we work on blanks, and we talk about blanks and how you measure and how you placement for blanks. We talk about using your editing screen for putting projects together. So it was really, really good class. So our first one's filled up, our second one's filled up. So
we're on to our 3rd and 4th.
So September, it is a 4-week class, and it is very important that you do attend all 4 weeks, because the stuff from week 1 spills over into week 2.
Yeah.
And so if you miss any of that, then there's just not a chance to make it up, because we're already
And
jam-packed with information in each class.
It really helps you improve your embroidery work, because it seems pretty basic. Like a stabilizer, fabric, and stitch. Yes, it is.
It helps you to understand.
But there's ways of getting to that look.
Yeah.
So that it creates, whether it's a wall hanging, it's a placemat, it's a whatever, a quilt, because I like to do completely embroidered quilts. Just to learn the various steps to take you through some of these things, it's so much easier to learn from
this really
someone
is
else.
Basics, and so I am actually working on probably
More advanced.
a more advanced one, but it's taken me a little bit of time, and I think we're gonna probably start a more advanced one where we look at other different.
Well, and I can speak to this. There's a lot of planning involved to a class. It's not just all right, we'll do this class. There's samples. There's the time. There's the class planning of sorting it all out. So it takes a while to get some of these things together, and you got to get some of them off the ground before you can move on. Like, you got to get the basics in there before you can do the advanced. So stay tuned, and when she's got that as a go, we're off. Stitch and Chatter, again, that June thing's popping in my head because we finished the May one. Stitch and Chatter in June is the 19th. Why? What do you mean?
It may not be.
Why?
Somebody,
Well, it's on the calendar.
I know it's probably going to get moved, bumped by a week. Somebody got jury duty.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
So
I knew that.
someone got a jury duty summons and can't get out of it. And so, well, it's kind of funny because Ramon and I both got jury duty summons. And then but not for the same one. It came in the same day, but mine is 1 week and then his is like 2 weeks after and stuff like that. Isabel is laughing at me because this is the second time I've gotten jury duty summons. First one, actually, I showed up and they said, well, no, they're not doing it because I like settled out of court, whatever. And so, and Belle's going, hopefully this time you get in there and stuff like that. So so you can be judgmental in there. And I'm like, thanks. So you're supposed to be impartial. And she goes, yeah, I wouldn't be. And I'm going, yeah, that's probably why you.
They would pull you. They would pull you. I got called once for a jury. It was for a murder trial. I was not thrilled. I didn't get picked.
Well, so I have no idea what it's for. They don't ever tell you until you show up.
No, well, I was there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't get picked for that day.
So it was just it was just too funny. And so just a heads up now, it is the 19th, but for the Surrey location, it is probably going to be pushed back by a week.
Okay.
So like it'll be the week after.
I'm glad you remembered that.
Yeah.
We have.
I don't remember because Gary and I were talking about it yesterday.
For one of this is the, now this is
the amazing jobs that,
yes.
that our staff, like we just got amazing staff.
Exactly. The difference in the look of using a dark background is like, because normally.
This is Kona Club.
Yeah, this is the Kona Club, and she chose a dark background for her block. Isn't it cool the way it turned out? I was really, really stunned by it because when she first showed me her background choice, I'm thinking in the back of my head, oh. And then she showed me the block and it looks fabulous. I'm really, really happy with how it turned out for her. It's really cool. So sometimes you just have to change exactly. Jump in. Which takes us to what we're doing today.
Yes. So we've got Jen. So we got to go hunt down Jen. Where did Jen go? Jen. I'm hiding. Oh, Jen. All right. So I'm going to just flip this around. And then we're going to go find Jen. All right. Waddle, waddle, waddle.
Sorry, now I got the duck walked into the lemonade stand stuck in my head. Thanks.
You're welcome. Could be worse.
Okay.
I like that design.
Yeah, no, don't. Now you. Okay, I'll try and hold this where I can
Well,
see,
not
but
the
I'm.
cat.
No,
I love coffee.
I'm going.
I love coffee. Yeah.
Yeah, so now I'm going to be staring at that machine instead of what I'm
And I
doing
do
here.
love coffee, so you know.
Okay, so Jen, you are going to show us a cool little tool.
Yes.
No one knows what this is. It's called a hump jumper
Or a genamajig.
or genamajig.
Or a button shank plate. There are multiple names for this sucker. And it is for going over those big bumps when you go from one fabric to another. And so the way that we do this is we all have jeans and some of us have short legs. Hi, I'm some of us who have short legs. And thus we need to hem our jeans and we don't want to spend the money to get somebody else to do it. So we do it ourselves, or we buy jeans at the thrift store and we turn them into like capris or whatnot, right? Because that's the only way that we'll actually sew clothing, because we're quilters and clothing is just not worth it unless there's a big
Clothing
event.
has arms.
Clothing
and
has
sleeves.
curves and hard things.
Clothing's fun.
But I have made some clothing in the past, and I do have short legs, and I do need to hem things. So what happens is when we go over a bump and we don't have anything to help us, a lot of the time we get all those little teeny tiny stitches before, and then we skip the stitches on the other end and we get those long stitches on the back. This helps relieve that. So if you are going over a small bump, so say this is just going from 1 layer to 3 layers, you don't necessarily need it. So you can do it. It's all right. And it's okay. Like if we look at our stitches, okay, there's a little bit of a smaller stitch, but we didn't skip any stitches. It looks all right. But that's not what happens when we hem our pants. This would be like the seam. So when we hem jeans, it would be more like this. We have the 3 layers normally, but here there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 6 layers here. And if we were to go and sew down, let me get my foot on the presser foot on this is what happens. And we are now on an angle.
It's about ready to take off.
Yeah, it's ready to rocket ship out into the sky. Now, the other problem with this is that the way your presser foot works is it pushes down on the lovely feed dogs, or the teeth, or whatever you want to call them. And that is how it feeds your fabric through evenly. Right now, on the back and the front, we are not getting even pressure. So to feed it through, it will not work properly. So what this lovely little device does is it makes it so that you have even pressure on your fabric. So first we're going to see how big the difference is. Yeah. So
sorry, we're a little on the angle, guys, just so you guys can see.
Okay. So there is a skinnier side and a thicker side. And right now, I'd say we probably need the thicker side because of how the difference in the bump is. So making sure that your needle is down, you put your pressure foot up, you slide, and now when I look at it, okay, it's even. Slide it down, put your presser foot back down. I forget this sometimes. And when you forget this, you get lovely loops of your top thread on the bottom, but you won't recognize anything in sewing it because you have such pressure from the Gina-majig or the hump jumper underneath. So we're gonna go slower until we get right to the edge. Oop. Put it down again. And now we have it fallen off the other edge. It's good pressure in the back, bad pressure in the front. So we flip it around and we put it underneath in the front. So now again, you can see it is flat again and we have full pressure. Now, if you need to wiggle it in, you can put your presser foot up and then always put your presser foot down. Don't want those loops. And then you go slowly until the foot is completely off of the hump. See, there's no foot on the hump. And then you pull it out and it is now flat just on the fabric. And we can keep sewing. And there you have your stitches. Now I stopped, you can see that I do have one skip stitch here because I should have stopped just a little bit further. And with practice, it gets easier to do.
Now, when you're practicing, it's practicing using the tool to begin with, but when you're doing a new project, you want to practice with that fabric, with that thickness before you do it.
But you want to do it on a scrap.
You want to do it on.
You do not want to waste your good fabric on this thing.
It's not just practice in general. You want to practice a few times before you actually do your project, just to make sure that you've got it. Unless it's something that you do on a daily basis. But if it's something that you're only doing once in a while, pre-practice before you actually do your project. Now, if they're just your jeans and that one little skip stitch there
doesn't bug you?
Well, okay, I don't think it's going to bug anyone. If they're down checking out your seams down at your feet,
they're in perfect kicking.
Yeah, pretty much. But like, I mean, if you're doing it for someone else, you're doing it professionally, you want to take and do that. But something like that. But if you're, it really is, this is one of those things that you want to practice a lot before you do those, because it's not like just jump in. Now, earlier, because we were playing around and she was showing me how this works because I was curious or whatever. She had done some practices. Where's the one that you did?
Oh,
do you have that one? Oh, okay. So do you remember how Jen was talking about, you have to lift your presser foot and you have to put it down, and if you don't, you're going to get... We've got one where, because she was showing me all this cool stuff. And so if you notice there, okay, so if you don't put your presser foot down, this is what happens. So if you see this is a reminder that your presser foot didn't get put down on the hump jumper. So even though it's providing a bit of pressure, it still needs that extra oomph from the presser foot.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And when you are beginning, it will be a common mistake because you have this in there. You think you're sewing perfectly and you won't even feel a difference when you put down the lever for your presser foot, because your foot is so high up. So you won't notice a difference. And so it can happen so easily. And it's a, oops, oh, good thing I was doing my practice piece and not my real piece type thing when you're just starting out. So I had to, when I was showing Lori earlier, it was, don't drop it on the floor. It was press her foot up, put it in, press her foot down, and sew. Press her foot up, take it out, press her foot down, and sew.
Yeah, so
Press
she,
her foot
yeah.
up, put it in, press
So
her
she
foot
was
down, and
doing
sew.
this so that
was
I-
repeating it.
For me to learn that, because like, I mean, I can watch what she's doing, but sometimes through video, you don't always catch those little tiny things. So she was repeating that for me. So,
Yes,
that's how
I
we
was
learn.
repeating it
Yeah.
for her. Yes, yeah.
well, yes,
This
yes,
is how we learn to make these things habit.
yes. Pressure up, you know, and so because I was asking questions. Well, you know, what's this or whatever. So that's why she, you know, so there, it's a little song. You know, she does it for herself, but she sang it for me because you don't always necessarily see all those things. Like, you know, as much as I'm watching this, I don't see those tiny little things, and that's what we want to make sure we're getting very clear across on these videos, that all the little steps, because one of those miss, you get those stitchy things.
Oh, you get the loopies.
You get the loopies and stuff.
then the number one thing I see in like, a lot of the Reddit feeds on the beginner sewing is, why am I getting these loopies on the bottom, or why am I getting these loops on the top? Tension.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's sometimes the pressure foot.
And the presser foot, yep.
Okay, now you were saying something about the other baby lock there.
Not just the baby locks, but this is across genres.
Yes.
Because I know that the Genomies have it as well. And is there I have to bring my chair with me.
That's okay. My baby. I'm coming.
Oh, should have just chose a different machine. Anyway, so on the baby locks, you can see right here, there is a little button with a spring. And that is a built-in hump jumper. And on the Genomies, it will be on the inside, but on the baby locks, they put it on the outside. Don't know which one's easier for me because
We just play around
we're
with
playing,
them.
and so we'll just do this again where we have some thick jean. Some people say it's easier to go this way because your bump is going, it's a less graduated bump, but you can go either way with the hump jumper. And then with a built-in hump jumper, one of the things is if you have really, really thick fabric, you may want to actually use the hump jumper as a separate tool along with, because these hump jumpers can do thicker fabrics versus the built-in ones can't do as thick fabrics. So we will go down and, oh, I'm starting to go up on that angle. Make sure my needle is down, put my presser foot up, push in this little button. And I did push down on the front of the foot a little just so that I made sure that it stayed in because it was still on an angle. But when you get it flat, this little screw goes in the back of the foot and keeps the foot level. And now I will put that back down. Oh, and it popped out. So I guess I need to go one or two stitches more. Happens.
Yeah, so it's just a matter of, that's why you do practice.
Yeah, that's why you practice. And then put it down. See, almost forgot there. See, this one is a nice thick one. And then it automatically pops out now that we're down. And we're sewing again.
Now I know what that little button is on one of my feet.
Yeah, and that's the difference. The difference in the machines. I took this one out of one of our Husqvarna machines because even the higher end machines, they don't have it built in because the ankle is different. So you have to have the correct ankle to have the hump jumper work for you as well.
I have one of these in my...
If you have one of those, now you know what it's for.
I do.
So when you take off the foot, you notice that there's this one, and there you can see how it's supposed to go in. to the back of the foot. And so there's right here, there's a little hook that it actually goes into. That is what it goes into there. Put my foot down.
There you go.
So, but if it's not on a little bump and it doesn't have any pressure or hump underneath, it'll just spring back out.
Awesome.
So, yeah, so
All right.
that one's actually just
so
built in.
now I learned what that foot is, what the funky little thing is, and what that piece
What
was.
that is for.
Because I was wondering what that was, and I'm like going,
Now you know.
now I know.
Yeah. So now,
So now I can use more pieces on my M7.
woohoo!
All right, let's head on back. Thanks, Jen.
Super.
All right, waddle, waddle, waddle. Let's do our sashing. Okay, so we're just gonna wander back here. I know. You see all of our machines. All right, we're just gonna finish up here. We're just gonna pop in here, and we're just gonna say a quick goodbye. And say we'll see you guys next week.
And thanks, Jen, for that demo.
Yep. Awesome. Okay, we'll see you
Helpful.
guys.
Bye.
Have a great week.